Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are Shinjuku Cherry Blossom, and today we are going to talk about the World Mental Illness Day. So it happened in this week on 10th October. So now I'm going to explain a little bit about the mental health condition. So guys, the mental illness is commonly thought as people being crazy, but it's not. So right now I'm going to explain a little bit about a mental illness. Mental illness is commonly related to somebody that was crazy for general people, but it is not like that. People always misunderstood the meaning of mental illness. So the mental illness isn't a condition that the people who get mental illness, the people is crazy. It was not like that. Even a normal people could have a very big mental illness. So now I'm going to explain to you guys about the mental illness. So a mental illness is a condition that affects a people or a person thinking, feeling, or mood. Such condition may affect someone's ability to talk to other people, to be related to other people, and the function each day. Each person will have different experience, even people with the same diagnosis. And a mental health condition isn't the result of one event, but it was by a multiple overlapping causes. So the recovery of people with mental illness, the recovery of the mental illness includes meaningful roles in social life, school, and work. Especially when you start a treatment early and play a strong role in your own recovery process, the recovery may be happen. And now we are going to talk about how many kind of mental illness exist in this world. So I might split it into two sections. The first one is the common mental illness, and the second one is the less and rare section.
Objects of addiction. Often, people with these disorders become so involved with object of their addiction that they begin to ignore responsibility and relationship. 6. Personality disorders. People with personality disorders have extreme and inflexible personality traits that are distressing to the person and or cause problems in work, school, or social relationship. In addition, the person patterns of thinking and behavior significantly different from the expectation of society and are so rigid that they interfere with the person's normal functioning. 7. Obsessive compulsive disorders or OCD. People with OCD are plagued by constant thoughts or fears that cause them to perform certain rituals or routines. The disturbing thoughts are obsession, and the rituals are called compulsion. For example, one person will constantly washes their his or her hands because they thought that there's germs in their hands. 8. Post-traumatic stress disorder. These of psychotic disorders are hallucinations, and delusion. Hallucinations are the experience of images or sounds that are not real, such as hearing noises, voices, and delusions are false fixed beliefs that the ill person accepts as true, despite evidence to the contrary. 4. Eating disorders. Eating disorders involve extreme emotions, attitude, and behavior involving weight and food. Anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorders are the most common eating disorders. 5. Impulse control and addiction disorders. People with impulse control disorders are unable to resist urges or impulse to perform acts that could be harmful to themselves or other people. Pyromania, starting fires, kleptomania, stealing, and compulsive gambling are examples of impulse control disorders. Alcohol and drugs are common objects of addiction. Often, people with these disorders become so involved with object of their addiction that the person's patterns of thinking and behavior significantly different from the expectation of society and are so rigid that they interfere with the person's normal functioning. 7. Obsessive compulsive disorders or OCD. People with OCD are plagued by constant thoughts or fears that cause them to perform certain rituals or routines. The disturbing thoughts are obsession, and the rituals are called compulsion. For example, one person will constantly washes his or her hands because they thought that there's germs in their hands. 8. Post-traumatic stress disorders or PTSD. PTSD is a condition that can develop following a traumatic and or terrifying events such as sexual or physical assault, the unexpected death or of a loved one, or a natural disorders. It's a natural disaster. People with PTSD often have lasting and frightening thoughts and memories of the event, and they tend to be emotionally numb. There are many different conditions that are recognized as mental illnesses. The common type of mental illnesses include 1. Anxiety disorders. People with anxiety disorders respond to a certain object or situation with fear and dread, as well as with physical signs of anxiety or panic, such as rapid heartbeat and sweating. An anxiety disorder is diagnosed if the person's response is not appropriate for the situation, if the person cannot control the response, or if the anxiety interferes with normal functioning. 2. The mood disorders. These disorders, also called affective disorders, involve persistent feeling of sadness or period of feeling overly happy, or fluctuations from extreme happiness to extreme sadness. The most common mood disorders are depression, bipolar disorders, and cyclothamic disorders. 3. Psychotic disorders. Psychotic disorders involve distorted awareness and thinking. Two of the most common symptoms of psychotic disorders are hallucination, hallucinations, and delusion. Hallucination.
Hey guys, so now I will talk about 6 less common type of mental illness. The first one is stress response syndrome. It is occur when a person develops emotional or behavioral symptoms such as an earthquake, tornado, accident, divorce, loss of jobs, or death of a loved one, and also a problem with substance abuse. The second one is dissociative disorder. People with this disorder suffer severe disturbance or change in memory, identity, and general awareness of themselves and their surroundings, which may be the result of a traumatic event, accident, or disaster that may be experienced or witnessed by the individual. The third one is factitious disorder, a condition in which a person knowingly and intentionally creates or complains of physical or emotional symptoms in order to place the individual in the role of a patient or a person in need of help. And the fourth one is sexual and gender disorder. This include disorder that affect sexual desire, performance, and also behavior. Sexual dysfunction, gender identity disorder, and the paraphilias are examples of sexual and gender disorder. The fourth one is somatic by the individual. The third one is factitious disorder, a condition in which a person knowingly and intentionally creates or complains of physical or emotional symptoms in order to place the individual in the role of a patient or a person in need of help. And the fourth one is sexual and gender disorder. This include disorder that affect sexual desire, performance, and also behavior. Sexual dysfunction, gender identity disorder, and the paraphilias are examples of sexual and gender disorder. The fourth one is somatic system disorder. A person with a somatic system disorder, formerly known as a psychosomatic disorder, or also you can call somatoform disorder, experience physical symptoms of an illness of a pain with an excessive and disproportionate level of distress, regardless of whether or not a doctor can find a medical cause for the symptoms. And the last one, which the fifth one, is the tic disorder. People with tic disorder make sounds or display non-purposeful body movements that are repeated, quick, sudden, and or uncontrollable. Sounds that are made involuntarily are called vocal tics. And this also the example of a tic disorder that is Tourette syndrome. That's all for the 6 types of the common mental illness.